Hello and welcome to Bible Quiz Fellowship Game Day from the Bible Quiz Fellowship Sports Network. And it's Quincy and Nate tonight. Nate, everybody else disappeared. They're off sliding down water slides or something.
Yeah, I mean, it's definitely the indoor portion of that because it is cold outside right now. It's probably 40 degrees, but we got kids playing nine square behind us in the villa here. But yeah, it's pretty chilly out there with a pretty good wind gust. So if they're doing any water park stuff, it's definitely the indoor variety.
Yeah, it's kind of chilly here in Ohio too, so I am not surprised. Well, with the weather aside, we are headed into Saturday of the national tournament, and now it's time to see what happened on Friday. And we just happened to have Nate with us, who coached a team that went undefeated on Friday. Just us, undefeated. Now, let's see, Nate. Whom did you guys beat today? You beat Revelation. Who else did you beat?
Well, we had a couple of quizzes where there were a couple of good teams in there at the same time. So we did have a quiz against Moxie and Apocalypse that we won at the very end of the quiz. We also had, like you mentioned, the Revelation quiz. In Site One, it was almost like a window quiz or a stage quiz. It was really weird seeing the scores up on the screen and all that the whole time. So we had pretty good knowledge of what was going on, good awareness. And then another quiz we had was Witness and Warriors together,
Oh
and
yeah.
we were able to pull that one out. I think we even went to overtime with Witness and ended up winning in overtime with against Witness. And then we also had a quiz right after lunch against Astonished, and we were able to pull out a win with very little time on the clock to secure a question and a bonus to win by 20 in that quiz. So very exciting. I made the mistake, or I don't know, the maybe it was a good decision to tell my team, hey, going into the Moxie and Apocalypse quiz, I thought, hey, if you guys win this quiz somehow, I'll buy you dinner tonight. And the rest is history. That was our fourth quiz of the tournament or of the day, and yeah, we ended up doing pretty well the rest of the day as well. So they definitely earned it. They definitely deserved it. So we were able to go out to a local place called Pizza Pub as a team and got a big Kahuna pizza, and that was really great. We had a lot of leftovers though.
That's
So
great. Nate, Nate, you never know. I told my team once if they finished in the top 10 that I'd take them to Cedar Point, which is the number one, roller coaster park in the world here in Ohio. And darn it if they didn't finish 10th for sure, which I was happy to pay up on it because it was an amazing experience. So glad you had a similar kind of thing going on today. So be careful what you guarantee for tomorrow, Nate, apparently. So
yeah, there's been some mistakes and errors in judgment that by some previous coaches about promising um, certain things to happen if their team made the championship. And you just ask Tyler and Austin about that. When you
yes,
get to see what they had to do. So
yeah,
be
I
careful.
remember some of those things.
I know better. I've been around a little bit longer.
Yeah.
I know
Well,
anything can happen.
yeah. And Austin, you're here, I think. Maybe. Or maybe he's frozen. I don't know. Hey, Austin, are you here?
So I
Uh
don't know.
oh, I just heard I don't know. That's all I
Keep
okay.
going.
Yes, yes. Now I think I hear you now.
See
Uh
your video.
Okay.
There it is.
Yep, there we go. All right. Well, that is exciting, and I followed along, and thanks for reminding me of all the teams you guys beat. But I was following along because I saw the beginning of the day. I saw the big win against Moxie, and then I saw that big win after lunch, and I was like, "This is great." So not only was it a special day as far as a 9-0-0 goes, but you beat some good teams in it. Sometimes you can't get to an undefeated day without beating at least one or two good teams. But I it certainly wasn't all, just fortunate, the Lord smiling upon your team today things. You guys did a lot of hard work in those. They're doing wonderful work. So good job, just us. Now I know that folks probably haven't, not everybody has seen the seedings, so let me run down those for you a little bit. I'll just do them like, we'll just do them about like five at a time, maybe, and we'll just kind of jump in with some thoughts. So I'll start from the bottom. 42nd, Death Lepers. Uh, 41st, Anchored. 40th, Restoration. 39th, Watchmen. And 38th, Crimson. So, Nate, any thoughts on those teams there?
Well, I mean, Saturday will be a good day for them, I think, to win some quizzes. You look at those groups there. I can see their records. Not too many first places in those teams, and so perhaps Saturday will be a good day for them to get their first of the tournament. And I know how exciting it can be to win first. It's important to a lot of people, and just to say that you won a quiz is, it could be very uplifting for a team just to finally get that first win. And so I think there'll be some of those teams tomorrow that'll get that chance, and I think maybe it'll give them a little momentum, maybe to keep building on that and finishing a little bit higher than where they started the day.
It's a great way to put it. And looking at those scores and kind of what they've done, I wouldn't be surprised to see Restoration climb a little bit because the scores are telling me that they might have had kind of a rough schedule because looks like they're capable of scoring points and they don't have excessive amount of errors. So watch out for Restoration. But all of them just thrilled that they're all there, that they're all quizzing. Looks like Watchman has no problem winning jumps from what I see here. So they'll all be fun teams to watch. The next bunch of five, Lights in 37th, 36th, Dwell 35th, Unpredictable, which Unpredictable was in your quiz with Revelation as a harbinger of what was to come. 34, 34th, Resurrection, and 33rd, Billionaires. So, any thoughts on these teams besides Unpredictable being there when you guys beat Revelation?
Well, Billionaires is our last quiz of the day today. They're one of our Minnesota Wisconsin TFC teams. They've got a young quizzer on their team by the name of Micah Blackford. You may recognize the last name there. He is the son of Jason Blackford, of course, who is a well-known quizzer and coach with us, and he's been doing really well with that team. And I think with him being able to go against some of these teams in the lower sites tomorrow, I think he'll have a great opportunity to really show how much he's memorized and how much work he's put in this year. So I'm thinking billionaires who go by the name Bill will maybe climb up a little bit in the standings tomorrow.
Yeah, and again, kind of looking at scores, I could see Lights making some moves upward from what I see here. It's kind of nice looking at errors and total points. You can get a sense of who may have had a difficult schedule and who's got some jumping ability and scoring ability, but definitely agree on Billionaires. Um, they scored more points than any team around them by at least 200, and the only team that you have to go up to 29th to find any team that scored more points than Billionaires. So if you were looking at that to say who can might make a move upward, definitely would go with them. All right, 32nd, Believers. 31st, Sons of the King. 30th, Awake. 28th, Collective, and 29th, Collective, and 28th, Sealed. So, any thoughts on this bunch of folks? Just a bunch of good quizzers here. I saw several of them in quizzes, hanging in there against some good teams. Any Believers is a staple at nationals, always one of those teams when I'm coaching in the range of 20th to 30. You see Believers a lot, and they always have a great attitude and do a lot of good work. So, any other thoughts on that, Nate?
Yeah, I would say 31 there, Sons of the King. It's one of the younger Summit Bible quizzing teams. You can see here like you said before, of another team. This team seems to know how to win jumps, according to the stats that I'm seeing here. And we quizzed them today, and I actually watched another quiz that they had, and they definitely can win jumps, and they were jumping very aggressively on one word, parts of a word, no words. So I think when they get into a situation where they're in some of these lower sites to start, um, it's all going to be about their timing and quizzing under control. But I think they have the knowledge to do really well. Um, a lot of the summit quizzers have great pedigree and great coaching, and I think they may be on the rise a little bit too once they settle in in those lower sites to start off today.
Nice, yeah. And speaking of being aggressive, we're also talking, of course, they've made a lot of errors, but like Nate said, a lot of errors is just usually an indication of you're willing to jump and be aggressive in quizzes, where you have to jump to win a chance to answer, and that can be a really good thing. And so Sons of the King had the third most errors of any team in the tournament. Again, a sign of aggressiveness, and they're going to win jumps on Saturday. A lot of times it's a good thing, and teams like that can kind of you don't win as many jumps on Saturday because there's so many competitive quizzes. And but the fact that you can win jumps keeps you in those quizzes, and that'll help them make a move. So, yep, good call there. All right, let's see, where was I? 27th, Crusaders, 26th, Eclipse, 25th, Rooted, 24th, Deliverance, and 23rd, Called. Now I'll mention Eclipse comes from Bronzewall, comes from Ohio, so very excited to see them in that 25 range. 26 is where they are, but I was hoping they'd be around 25th, and so hopefully they can make a little move upward. They're very adept at keeping second place, no matter what. They they would just hold on to second place, and that is a crucial skill to have on Saturday. So
So adept.
any other thoughts there?
Yeah, I would say with the team called, um, they also seem to do well with holding on to second place as well. You see that in the round robin section, they had 10 second places and three firsts and only five thirds. And the key to Saturday oftentimes is to avoid third places and average second places. That'll get you pretty far in the bracket. And so it seems like more often than not, this team was placing second place in their quiz. So I think if they continue to do that tomorrow, in the bracket quiz, they could possibly move up a little bit. And you look at their error count, only 78 errors compared to a lot of teams around them that have anywhere from 25 to 30 more errors for the round robin portion. So I think that could be possibly a team that can make a little bit of improvement if they're keeping the errors down and avoiding third place.
Great insights. Austin, I'm just going through the bracket five at a time. So as you're able in this next section, you can chime in. Good insight on the second places. So just an interesting note, Called had 10 second places. Eclipse, as I mentioned, had 11. And Awake and 30th had 11 second places. And that is, like we said, those are the top three teams as far as second place finishes. And that can be, like we said, a great skill to have on Saturday is how to keep yourself in control enough where you hang on to second place, keeps you from falling in the bracket and gives you a chance to rise. All right, so let's go with 22nd is Engraved, 21st is Redemption, 20th is Kingdom, 19th is Witness, and 18th is Forward. Of course, we've spent a lot of time on the Zooms talking about Witness and Kingdom, both fun teams to watch. I've watched some of their quizzes and enjoyed them, and teams from Witness being from Youth Challenge and Kingdom from the New Ministry Student Connection. And so excited to see if they're able to move up a little bit on Saturday. Their scores look pretty solid. Looks like maybe if Kingdom can keep the errors under control a little bit more, that would be big for them making moves. And Redemption, a national staple from Midland, always a really fun team to quiz against. And I'm sure, and they have a great history of moving up on Saturday. I know that over the years they've done some pretty big jumps on Saturday, so watch out for them too. So, any other thoughts, gentlemen?
I mean, the all the Midland teams I saw today seemed very competitive. Some of it came down to some of the errors you might not want to make, um, and just who can outlast the other team in the quiz. I feel like if we had 3-minute halves and 6-minute quizzes, those teams would be beating anybody. And it's just maybe not the depth to outlast some, but they're all jumping. They're all jumping at a great speed. And so I would expect them to move up because those skills will really help them on Saturday. Shout out to Nathan Rosen on Witness. I think he's doing a great job leading that team in points, and I think leading that team as a captain as well. I might have expected them to be a little higher in the seedings, which is a good sign for expecting them to move up, just like you were saying.
Yep, and we are aware that Nathan Rosen is definitely one of the top quizzers that are out there as far as scores go. So keep an eye on him as Saturday goes on. All right, next section. 17th, Warriors from NCO. 16th, Clay. 15th, Established. So Clay Badgeland, 15th, establishes family life. 14th, Apocalypse. And 13th, Remarkable Doorknobs. Oh, those remarkable doorknobs. They're remarkable. So yeah, see, you can see some things there. Nate was talking about Apocalypse ability to win jumps, and yes, second most errors in the tournament, but also a ton of points, almost 3,000 points. So that is entertaining quizzing right there. If you're watching an Apocalypse quiz, you're gonna see some entertain. They're very much fitting their name, honestly. Like every quiz, that's the goal, is to force the quiz to Apocalypse point. I appreciate that about a team, so I'll look forward to seeing what they're able to do on Saturday. And they're just in that top third range. Remarkable Doorknobs also eking up there. So this will be a fun group to watch as all five of them try to make in the top third. And these are all real good teams. I mean, honestly, these are the kind of teams that you could see make a big run and even make stage from this point on. Like I think if you told me anywhere from 20th up, if any of these teams made a run all the way to stage, I would not be shocked. I mean, some of them obviously they're gonna have to have really good Saturdays, but I totally wouldn't be shocked because there's a lot of talent in this range of teams.
Yeah, I personally would not be astonished that some
We
of
haven't
these
got
top
there yet.
teams. Well, okay, fine. Spoiler alert. I think they'll do well. They'll do really well on Saturday as well. But I just wanted to do a quick shout out to Remarkable Doorknobs. Actually, they're I believe our sixth team from Minnesota, Wisconsin, TFC. So that's six with an S. Um, that's pretty impressive to see them all the way up in 13th place at this at this point in the tournament. Apocalypse is essentially our third team, so we have quite a few teams there in the top 14 spots, and so the way that, the work that Mark Beck has been doing with that team, and just being able to get them all working together and I guess limiting their error counts to a certain degree. I mean, they have won 10 quizzes out of 18 in this round robin. I mean, any team that's won 10 quizzes, that's really good. You're winning over half of the quizzes that you do. And the fact that they only have 109 errors compared to, let's say, Apocalypse below them, which have 171 errors, they're doing something right by keeping the error count under control, and that's going to be the key tomorrow as well.
Yeah, I'm excited to see what Clay and our FLM team in that group is going to be able to do as well. We're past the point of talking about measuring sticks, right? This is the measuring stick we've measured. So now it's up to you to go prove it for all you teams out there. And interested to see. I don't think I was able to see either of those teams enough in the round robin to really have an opinion about it, but I'm following them and I want to see, are they going to go up, stay where they're at, or move down? And keep your eye on them because they've historically been competitive.
Nice. All right. The next thing we're gonna do is go six at a time so we can finish off the bracket. So the next six, 12th, just us. We've talked about just us having their 9-0-0 Friday. So there they are at 12th. 11th, Vindicated from Summit. 10th, Dead BC from Minnesota, Wisconsin, Teens for Christ. 9th, Zenith. Uh, and eighth, Messengers, and seventh, Astonished. So there we have it. Some of these teams we've been talking about. So one thing I'll notice here, we've talked about how Messengers is a disciplined team, and they have a remarkably smaller number of errors than the teams around them. That's usually a pretty good sign for Saturday also. If you're having a lot of errors, can be a sign that you're aggressive, and that's good. But a lot less errors is also a good sign that you can be disciplined about how you're winning quizzes, and that's important on Saturday. And also, Astonished has a kind of a lower error count as well. And we talked about that too, about them being disciplined. So definitely a couple teams to watch out for there. And hey, a team riding 9-0-0 into Saturday is a team to watch out for in my book.
I think you guys are rubbing off on each other a little bit because Nate was in the last section talking about remarkable doorknob and astonished, and now you're talking about astonished being remarkable. I don't know
I couldn't hear the last part of what you said because I don't know why, but yeah, I'm sure that Nate and I have a variety of similar opinions on things. So Nate, any thoughts on that group that your team's a part of?
Well, I have lots of thoughts about my own team here, but I will say that if you look at the error count, we somehow ended up one with exactly 126 errors
Oh
through the
my
round
goodness.
robin. So that must be a good sign of the things to come. I just thought
what.
I'd point that out.
Not
Yeah.
But
sure how to interpret that. Um, we were talking about the apocalypse being like the sixth Teens for Christ team, and Quincy, as your sister reminded me earlier, there are no rankings before nationals happens. There's only rankings after nationals happens. And so when I look at Vindicated and Zenith there, right in that top group where we say anything can happen, are they going to go up and try and claim the crown from one of their ministry teams that is ranked a little bit higher?
Yeah.
They could, you know.
Those summit teams. Yeah. Yeah.
Yep.
Very cool. All right, here we go. Top six, sixth place, third day from Family Life. Fifth, Unshadowed from Minnesota, Wisconsin, Teens for Christ. Fourth, Moxie from Summit. Third, CB Square from Iowa Teens for Christ. Second, Revelation. And first, Riven. So there you have it. There's your top six teams. Third day with the most errors in the whole tournament. So probably from the looks of things, just need to maybe tighten the screws a little bit, get it just pulled back just slightly, and they could really take off. They certainly have the firepower to do it. You can see that in the scores. Um, so that's something to see. Other thing I'll notice is that Moxie has the second most points scored in the whole tournament. This really looks like Moxie had a difficult schedule draw from the first couple days. So don't be surprised if Moxie finds their way onto the stage. So yeah, those are some things I noticed. Obviously, Riven Revelation, great. CB squared, always hanging out there. Great team. Obviously, if you're in the top six, any one of you could make the championship from Unshadowed third day and the others we mentioned. Any thoughts?
yeah, I would say one thing here too about Unshadowed is they went half of the round robin without one of their quizzers who was dealing with an illness and wasn't able to join the team until Friday for quizzing. So they could be a little their record may be a little or could be a little deceiving in as far as their overall performance, even though they finished in fifth place for the seedings. With their seventh quizzer fully back and ready to go, I think it'll be a great chance for them to finish very strongly in the tournament. I mean, they could they could make the championship with that kind of addition to the team there. Sitting at fifth, moving up from there. So like you were saying, though, any team in the top six, top 12, top 20 even has a decent shot at making the championship with the kind of material that we're dealing with this year. And um, I just really think that anything could happen.
Yeah, I think saying CB squared hanging out there a little bit of
Austin, talk closer to your mic. I can't hear you.
CB squared saying CB squared hanging out there, at third is a little bit of an understatement. I think that I was expecting them to be in the top 10, but third after some of these dominant performances in the round robin is really impressive. It is higher than I was expecting them to be, which goes to show set aside your expectations here. And I think the way they did it is the way that they succeed so often on Saturday. So that makes them an even scarier pick, I think, tomorrow than they usually might be, because now they've actually found a way to put it together for the round robin too this year. And they're the team I'm going, they're already there and they usually climb. So where is there to climb to but make stage? And then just like Nate was saying, fifth for Unshadowed, maybe they're in the shadows in fifth, and they're gonna emerge into first, second, or third there. So
Sounds
Pretty good.
good. That's a great point on CB squared. And one thing I'll say about CB squared, they're like the underlying metrics, so to speak, look great. I mean, lots of points, controlled the errors. To me, also, like basically whatever happened with that third place, which I'd have to go and look and see what happened and how they finished third. If that hadn't happened, they would have been competing for second place probably. So
mhm.
that's pretty impressive for them and definitely something to keep an eye on. So this is my question for you guys. Look, I look at these numbers, and even as I've said that about CB squared, I'd have to say that it looks to me likely that it's going to be Riven Revelation and Moxie again in the championship. Like if I just look at the numbers, that's what I would say is most likely to happen. So you tell me, who do you think it is that is going to prevent that from happening? Is it CB squared? Is it Unshadowed? Is it Astonished? Just give me, this will be our bold prediction time. Tell me who prevents it from being River and Revelation and Moxie.
I think it's Unshadowed. Um, like Nate was saying, they're quizzing without Ranny, who is one of their stronger quizzers. I think they have great coaching behind them. And if there's any coach out there who says, "Hey, during the round robin, we're just getting ready for Saturday," it's Kevin. He let his assistant coaches each head coach for a quiz, and they got to pick which one it was over Thursday and Friday to give them a little experience, because to him, Saturday is really what matters. So I think they'll be prepared. And fifth is just being perched and ready to pounce on stage.
Nice. Nate?
Well, I it's a tough choice. I mean, I do see the definite benefit of Unshadowed, but since you already picked them, I'm gonna go with Astonished as having a decent shot at making the championship as well. They have the experience. They're there last year. They got second place last year. They returned if just about everybody, if not everyone, from last year on that team. And if you look at their error count, they've vastly improved over from what I've seen in past years from them. They only had 132 errors. Um, and if you look at teams around them, teams ahead of them, like any other teams ahead of them had more errors than they did, at least 140 plus. So to see them to have a lower error count, considering um, where they can be at times in past years, to see them cut that out of their um, quizzing at this point is very encouraging, and to see them have more than just a couple of scores, to have a full team able to score with bonuses, I think that's really the difference that I'm seeing again this year as well. So I would say Astonish has a great shot at making stage once again.
Good pick. And I think we have all at this point said that we wouldn't be surprised to see CB squared make the stage. So I guess I'll throw out there that also messengers I think will be my bold prediction. They've done it before. They've interrupted that triumvirate that's usually up there, and I think that could happen again. They look like a strong choice for that. So, all right, well, Saturday's ahead. I can't wait to follow along on the YouTube live stream as I can. I've got a really busy Saturday, but for sure I'll be checking in on the videos and also on the scoring from quiz to quiz. If anybody is watching this and hasn't had a chance, it's definitely the day to watch because there's going to be some exciting stuff going on. There's no more exciting day in all of competition. I don't care what you talk about, whether it's March Madness, whether it's NFL playoffs, MLB playoffs, there's no more exciting day than Saturday at Nationals. So let's get it done, everybody. Thank you.
Hey, thank you.